Good afternoon, everyone. Please let me know my screen is visible to you or not, and send your messages to mark your attendance. And everyone, please mute yourself. Mute yourself. Harkar, please mute yourself. Okay. Okay, so I'm directly starting the lecture. I have given one homework to you. You have to just now check your calculations with my calculations. So I am going to start to write proof of last exercise, and then we have to take some discussion on that exercise. Okay, we want to prove in this exercise that we have given one vector space which has basis of n elements. We don't know that vector space is finite dimensional or not, but it is given to us that vector space is with basis which has n elements in it, and we wanted to prove that vector space is isomorphic to our known vector space. Our known vector space, which is nothing but the Fn. We know everything about that Fn. What are the forms of elements of Fn? Then what are the operations that are needed to prove that Fn has a vector space? Or if you have a vector space, then you must know there that which operations are there, plus and scalar multiplications. And again, one more thing we have there for this Fn, because we want to compare elements of this Fn. So we have already written there when we say that any two elements of Fn as a equal. So under this we have everything about that Fn, and now we want to prove that this V is isomorphic to Fn. So if we want to prove V is isomorphic to Fn, then we must have their well-defined mapping from V to Fn, that already we have defined in this solution or proof. And again we want that mapping as a one-to-one and onto, and we want this mapping is nothing but the vector space homomorphism. So now it remains to prove that our mapping T that we have defined in the last lecture is vector space homomorphism. So three parts already we have completed. So now I am going to write proof of part 4, in which we want to prove T is, okay, no need to say here that T is vector space homomorphism, simply homomorphism. We are discussing it on vector space, so by default it is vector space homomorphism. T is homomorphism we want to prove. Okay, so again there are two parts here because two operations are there, so I am writing here first. We have to take any two elements u comma v in first vector space V. So we have taken these two elements, but we know V has basis of n elements. So you can write this U as linear combination of basis elements, and this representation is nothing but unique. So take this as a alpha 1, alpha 2 up to alpha n, and basis elements as V1, V2 up to Vn. Okay, and again you can write another element, take another set, unique set of scalars, suppose it is beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n. So second element you can write as a linear combination of these elements. Okay, and now we want to prove T is homomorphism, that means it must preserve both the operations. So first operation we have to consider, T must preserve there in vector space to vector space addition of two vectors. So what are the vectors that we have taken from first vector space? U and V, and then we have to take addition of these two vectors and we have to take its image. But before going to take image, write their forms in this way. So what is U? It is alpha 1 V1, alpha 2 V2 up to alpha n Vn. This is U, and this we have to add with V. It is beta 1 V1, beta 2 V2 up to beta n Vn. Okay, just I have written here U and V in terms of V1, V2 up to Vn, and then from this side we are applying T, capital T. Okay, continue it. See, whatever combinations you are taking, that total combination is nothing but the final element of V. So both the combinations are nothing but the in V. So each and every combination, each and every element in this representation is element of capital V. Capital V is nothing but the vector space. So it is abelian group. So you can change the positions. You can combine elements and you can change the positions of elements here. So this is, now see here, this is V1, term of V1, and this is also term of V1. I am combining these two terms. I am combining these two terms and I am writing here alpha 1 plus beta 1, and outside it is V1. This is the coefficient of V1. Similarly, you can combine terms of V2. So this term, this coefficient is nothing but the alpha 2 plus beta 2, and nth, for nth term it is nothing but the alpha n plus beta n. Already I have told you that you have to complete this. I am just proving by my side, and you have to just check if you have completed there in your notebook. So we have taken this combination, we have combined each element. Now this is the single element in capital V, and it is in terms of linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn, and then you have to apply on T. See in the starting, in the starting discussion, we have taken, or in the definition of capital T, we have taken the definition of T, in which way you have to take image of this element now. So how we take image of this element, which is in terms of linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn. Today I am facing, because in the second year lecture also, there is problem to this software, Microsoft OneNote, that we are using here on screen. So we have to take some adjustment now today. Okay, so how we take image of this linear combination under T? It is finally element of Fn, and that element is nothing but we put here at the first position coefficient of V1, then this is coefficient of V2, second position of order n tuple is nothing but the alpha 2 plus beta 2, and nth position is nth coefficient, and that is nothing but the alpha n plus beta n. So finally this is element of Fn. So we have taken U plus V and its image we got now in Fn. U plus V is element of capital V. When we take its image, it is nothing but the element of Fn. So element of Fn is nothing but this order n tuple. And now in Fn you can separate this type of sum, or you can write this type of element as sum of two elements, and that element is nothing but the separate this alpha and betas in this sum. So this is sum of two order n tuples. It is beta 1, then beta 2 up to beta n. See, if you remember there, we have did these calculations while proving Fn as a vector space. So you can write sum of this two order n tuple as a order tuple in the above line, or that order tuple in above line you can separate as two order n tuples. So these are the calculations we have taken in Fn. Now we are in Fn now. So in Fn we are doing this type of calculations, okay? And then this order n tuple you can write as, this is image of this element under T. This order n tuple means it is nothing but you have to just use that all scalars, and you have to take linear combination with V1, V2 up to Vn, and you have to take its image under T. So this order n tuple is nothing but the image of this element under T. Similarly, by taking help of beta 1, beta 2 up to beta n, you have to take their combination with V1, V2 up to Vn, and then its image is nothing but this order n tuple in above line. So this is beta n, Vn and T. Okay, Manisha, you have taken image of, see, I'm saying here, you have taken image of this total element under T as just, you have written there without parenthesis that elements. You have to put parenthesis because it is element of Fn. It is element of Fn, so you have to take this parenthesis. This is nothing but the order n tuple. Okay. And then this combination we have taken as U. So this is UT, image of U under T. Sorry. This is this is image of U under T, and this second one is nothing but in terms of beta, it is image of V under T. So what we have proved here while doing this in part 1 of this fourth group, we have just taken two elements from V, their addition we have taken, and we have taken its image. So this T preserves the addition. So this is the first part. So T preserves first operation in the vector space. Now consider second operation. I hope calculations. Okay, today this OneNote giving us problem, so we have to wait. Okay, we have proved here that T is preserving the first operation, which is nothing but the plus. Now let me take second. Let me check for second operation that T preserves or not. So what is second one? We want one element and we want to take its scalar multiplication. Okay, so let U belongs to capital V and some scalar we want to take here from field here. Okay, by default field is nothing but the here. Then because U is element of capital V, okay, just a minute. Okay. Sorry, I have to share screen. Because it is restarted by Microsoft. Okay. Now is it visible? Is it visible? Yes, it is visible to you now. Okay, now screen is visible, so I am continuing. So we have taken U from capital V and alpha from field in the second part. So because U is element of capital V, it has basis of n elements. So you can write U as a linear combination of unique representation for this U as in terms of V1, V2 up to Vn as this representation in terms of alpha n up to Vn. Okay. And now I have to consider scalar multiplication in V. So consider scalar multiplication in V and then take its image. But before taking image, I am taking form of U in terms of this linear combination. So alpha to V2 up to alpha n Vn. Okay. And then later on I have to take image. So before taking image, let me write in standard form for this element, that is what is coefficient of V1, it is alpha 1, you can put brackets here for these coefficients, okay, plus alpha into alpha 2 is the coefficient of V2 plus alpha into alpha n, then Vn, and then you have to take image. And we know definition of capital T in terms of this combination. If you are taking image of any element in terms of V1, V2 up to Vn under T, then you have to, image is nothing but the element of Fn, so it is finally element of Fn, so it is order n tuple. But while writing this order n tuples, you have to put coefficient of V1, V2 up to Vn at these corresponding positions. So this is the image. This is the image of this alpha into U under T. And we know how we use scalar multiplication in Fn. This is element of Fn finally. So now we are in Fn. So in Fn you can take alpha outside and you have to write here this order n tuple alpha 1, alpha 2 up to alpha n. Is it clear to everyone? And then after taking this alpha outside, okay, now keep this alpha outside, and this order n tuple is nothing but the image of alpha 1 V1 plus alpha 2 V2 up to alpha n Vn. I am writing this thing in bracket, okay. This is image of element under T. This above order n tuple is nothing but the image of this linear combination of V1, V2 up to Vn under T. And then this is alpha, and in this bracket, what is this linear combination? Okay. Alpha is outside, and in bracket this combination is nothing but the U, and then it is nothing but the image under T. So what we have proved now, it is alpha U, it is scalar multiplication in capital V, and under T it preserves, it is nothing but the alpha times, it is nothing but the image of U under T. So second operation is also preserved by T. So T is homomorphism. So by checking both the operations are preserved or not, I am writing now, therefore T is homomorphism. I am not writing in detail, it is vector space homomorphism of capital V onto Fn. So everything we have proved there. Thus, now I am combining all the four statements that T is well defined, T is one-to-one, T is onto, and T is homomorphism. So I am writing here, thus T is a vector space, or simply homomorphism, vector space homomorphism no need to call as a now homomorphism, you can directly call as isomorphism, because I want to say here two vector spaces are isomorphic to each other. Okay, so I am not I am going to replace now this homomorphism word by isomorphism. Okay, T is a vector space isomorphism. Okay, when you say isomorphism, it is nothing but the one-to-one homomorphism. So in this word isomorphism, we have covered homomorphism as well as one-to-oneness of T. Isomorphism of which vector space? First vector space is nothing but the V onto, I am writing here, onto Fn, and if you say in this way, you can say V is isomorphic to Fn. Hence, capital V, which has n elements in its basis, is isomorphic. Capital V is isomorphic to Fn. Or you can write also in notation V is isomorphic to Fn. But which V is isomorphic to Fn? Which V is isomorphic to Fn? Capital V which has basis. Capital V which has basis of n elements, then that type of vector spaces are isomorphic to Fn. So this is the proof. Okay. If somebody wants to write, let me show this. Okay. So let me know you understood this, you have checked it with your calculations or not. If you have completed in your notebook, then I have to proceed for the next discussion. Just quickly reply me, then we go to the next discussion. Okay, please. If you understood this concept or if you have any problem, then convey me in the message box. Today I think there is problem. There is no problem of network, but that whatever screen we are using, OneNote, that giving us problem. So now this is the proof. Just let me write another exercise, which has. So suppose okay, in the last exercise we have taken their capital V as a vector space which has I'm not writing, I'm just discussing. In the last exercise we have taken vector space which has n elements in its basis, and whatever be the vector space you have there which has n elements in its basis, then it is isomorphic to Fn. See there, n basis elements are there. That basis elements are nothing but n in numbers. That n we are using here in Fn. Fn we are writing. What that n shows for Fn? Fn contains their order n tuples. That means n positions are there in that parenthesis. Okay. Suppose we have vector space V which has I am saying m elements in its basis. That means V1, V2 up to V suffix m are the basis elements. So that V is isomorphic to Fm. Fm in the top of that F, it is in bracket, it is m. That means Fm contains, आतापर्यंत आपण Fn बोलत होतो, मी रिप्लेस केला n by m. Fm contains in it elements which contains order m tuples, m positions are there. So if V contains in its basis m elements, then it is isomorphic to Fm. So in this way you can change that n by any number, and then V is isomorphic to F in that parenthesis, that corresponding number is there. Okay. So this exercise we have proved for arbitrary vector space. Just we have mentioned how many elements are there in its basis. Now tell me, can you prove any finite dimensional vector space is isomorphic to Fn for any n? Just give me quickly answer to this question. Can you prove any finite dimensional vector space? Or suppose I am saying in this way, this exercise, if V is finite dimensional vector space, if capital V is finite dimensional vector space, then it is isomorphic to Fn, Fn for some n, for some integer n. Can you prove this exercise? Okay, yes. How you will proceed for this proof? What you will do there for this proof? I am just saying V is finite dimensional, and you have to prove V is isomorphic to Fn for some n. Proof is same, but I want starting discussion. I want to write proof of this, but how we proceed it? Okay, tell me. Basis element is every finite dimensional vector space possesses basis, and if it possesses basis, then how many elements are there in its basis? Okay, so listen everyone. Listen everyone. I am repeating that statements of corollaries. Already before the definition of basis, we have proved one corollary for finite dimensional vector space. If V is finite dimensional vector space, then because it is finite dimensional, there is some finite set which spans capital V, and then there exists subset of that spanning set which contains in it linearly independent elements. And then in the corollary 3, you have in your notebook, you can see that corollary statement of corollary 3. If V is finite dimensional vector space, then it contains some finite number of it contains some subset of finite number of elements which forms a basis for V. So this is the answer to this question that I have asked to you. What? V is finite dimensional. If V is finite dimensional, then it contains some subset of finite elements in it which forms a basis. So if V is finite dimensional, it has basis of finite elements, and if you call that basis number of basis elements as n, then V is a vector space which has basis of n elements, and then I am asking to you to prove that V is isomorphic to Fn. So every finite dimensional vector space is isomorphic to Fn for some particular n. Is it clear to everyone? Just give me reply, and then I have to proceed to the next topic or next discussion. Give me reply. Whatever I have explained here, you understood, or is it clear to you everyone? Okay. So I am going to write note now. After this exercise of finite dimensional vector space, I am going to write note, or you can take another exercise. Okay, you can take exercise. Same group is there. Exercise. If capital V is a finite dimensional vector space, if capital V is a finite dimensional vector space, then V is isomorphic. V is isomorphic to Fn for some, okay, I am saying here integer, for some integer n. So n is nothing but the number of basis elements in it, number of basis element in the vector space. So every finite dimensional vector space possesses a basis of finite elements. So you can fix that number, and then you can say that V is isomorphic to Fn for some integer n. So this is the exercise. Just you have to write 2-3 lines or only one line that V is finite dimensional, so it has basis of finite number of elements. Suppose that basis is nothing but the V1, V2 up to Vn. If you want to take n as a number of basis elements in it, and then you can proceed the same. So V is isomorphic to Fn. You have to again define the same mapping T from V to Fn under same definition, and same concepts you have to use there in that exercise. Okay, so this is the exercise. Now let me take some discussion here. This time you can also write in your notebook in short this discussion. So this is the discussion. See here, if V is finite dimensional vector space, if I am not writing solution of above exercise here, I am taking discussion. If V is finite dimension and it has okay, it possesses basis always, huh? It has basis of n elements. It has basis of n elements. Then I am using notation for isomorphism. Then V is isomorphic to Fn. Okay, you can say note. Okay, you can write this as a note. This discussion you can write as a note. Okay. If V is finite dimensional, then and it has basis of n elements, then by above exercise you can say that V is isomorphic to Fn. But we are taking in its basis how many elements in this finite dimensional vector space? N elements, and therefore we are saying V is isomorphic to Fn. But there may be some another basis which contains m elements in it. So if V is again finite dimensional vector space, and suppose it contains in its basis in its another basis m elements, then using above exercise or using same concept which is used in the above exercise, you can say there that V is isomorphic to Fm. But V is isomorphic to Fn or in you can, okay, let me write first. Okay. Also, if there is some basis of capital V of m elements, also if there is some basis of capital V of m elements, then in this case V is isomorphic to Fm. Are you getting what I am discussing here? If capital V is finite dimensional, then it is obvious that it has basis of finite elements. Is it clear? Suppose that basis contains firstly n elements. I am taking basis of n elements from V. Then in that case V is isomorphic to Fn. But there may be another basis for capital V. Suppose it contains m elements in it. I am discussing for another basis of V. Suppose it contains m elements, then by using above concept, V is isomorphic to Fm. V is isomorphic to Fm. Now, in the next some corollaries, I have to check for finite dimensional vector space, or I have to prove that any two bases of capital V have the same number of elements, and this happens because of this. Okay. So we have discussed above that Fn is isomorphic to, I am writing in reverse direction, in this way by changing the positions. Fn is isomorphic to V and V is isomorphic to Fm, and hence because Fn is isomorphic to V, V is isomorphic to Fm. We have already seen in group theory isomorphism is transitive there. That means if first space is isomorphic to second space is isomorphic to third, then obviously first must be isomorphic to third. So I am using now this is isomorphic to Fm. By taking this concept, we are reaching to this Fn is isomorphic to Fm. And Fn is isomorphic to Fm, that means two algebraic structures we are saying here isomorphic to each other, and if they are isomorphic to each other, that means there is one-to-one and onto mapping between these two spaces, and if there is one-to-one and onto mapping between two sets, then that two sets must have the same number of elements. They must have the same number of elements. So if they have same number of elements, that means they must possess their same number of basis elements in their bases. So now we have to, in the next some corollaries, we have lemma corollaries. We have to discuss everything about this n and m. When we are saying V is isomorphic to Fn, we are saying there are n basis elements in the basis of V. When we are saying V is isomorphic to Fm, we are saying in the basis of V there are m elements. But we are now trying to show that any two bases of V have the same number of elements. That means we are trying to prove here n is equals to m. N is equals to m, and by using that we can say that any two bases of V has the same number of elements in it. So for this discussion we wanted their above exercise, so we have proved first that above exercise, and now we have to proceed for the next. Step by step we are continuing to the next topics, and then we are getting more concepts. So now we are in topic of bases, so we must know everything about the bases there. Okay, so I think next one lemma is there, and from that lemma you have to compare basis elements and number of linearly independent elements there. So whatever discussion I have taken, you understood it or not? Just reply quickly, and then I have to proceed to the next lemma. Everyone is there or not? I am asking to you that you understood this discussion or not. V to Fm, Fm to V, then n and m we wanted here to, later on we wanted it to equal, and that n and m are representing here basis, number of basis elements in the vector space. So if you find out that n and m are same, then later on you can say that any two bases of V contains the same number of elements. Okay, take next lemma. Just write statement of lemma and then we will finish. We will end today's lecture. Okay, let me write lemma. Okay, it is important lemma. From this lemma you can discuss some more concept regarding this basis. So statement of lemma is there. If V1, V2 up to Vn is a basis of capital V over F, so write it. If small V1, V2 up to Vn is a basis, of capital V, by default it is vector space, over F, they are saying here, over F, and if small W1, W2 up to Wm. See there n, V1, V2 up to Vn we are taking, and for W's we are taking m, Vm in capital V, are linearly independent. Over F. Then we have to prove in this lemma this m is less than or equals to n. This m is less equal n. So this is the statement of this. Lemma. If V1, V2 up to Vn is a basis of capital V over F, V1, V2 up to Vn are the basis elements of capital V, and suppose again some another set of vectors is there, W1, W2 up to Wm, m in numbers, then and they are linearly independent, then you have to prove there that number of linearly independent vectors in V, m, which is m, is always less equal number of basis elements in its basis, and that is n. So m is nothing but the number of linearly independent elements, and n is nothing but the number of basis elements. So in vector space, in any vector space, after proving this lemma, we can say number of linearly independent vectors in any set is always less equal number of basis elements in the basis of vector space. So number of linearly independent vectors is always less equal the number of basis elements. This is the statement of lemma that we want to prove. Okay. Now I have to stop lecture, but before that, don't leave the meeting. I have to download attendance. Okay. Now you can leave the meeting. And if okay, I have sent there soft copy of this book Holstein, so you can find exercises and you can try for that exercises. Take book, which is soft copy that I have sent on the WhatsApp group, and check these exercises. If you are able to solve them, then try for it, and if you have any doubts, then don't ask directly, try for some calculations and then ask to me.